13 habits that push people away in old age. Aging brings wisdom, experience, and memories worth cherishing. But here's something most people won't admit. It also brings behaviors that can quietly distance us from the ones we love most. Nobody sits you down and tells you these things. They just start calling less, visiting less, making excuses, and you're left wondering why. I'm Sarah, and here on Senior Life Pot, we talk about the real stuff, the uncomfortable truths that can actually improve your relationships and bring more joy into your later years. So if you value the connections in your life, if you want your family to genuinely enjoy spending time with you, hit that subscribe button right now. This information could change everything. And please, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do is open someone's eyes with love. Let's talk about 13 behaviors that might be creating distance in your relationships without you even knowing it. Habit 1. Turning every chat into a complaint session. Life throws challenges at us as the years go by. Your joints hurt more than they used to. Everything costs twice what it did a decade ago. The neighborhood isn't what it once was. These frustrations are valid and real. But here's the issue. When complaining becomes your go-to conversation style, people start avoiding you. Imagine this. Every time you call your friend Margaret, she launches into complaints about her doctor, her neighbors, the price of groceries, and how nothing works the way it should. After a few calls like that, would you be excited when her name pops up on your phone? Probably not. Venting has its place. We all need to let off steam sometimes. But there's a massive difference between occasionally sharing frustrations and making negativity your personality. When every interaction feels heavy and draining, people protect their own peace by creating distance. Here's a simple shift. Next time you're about to complain, pause. Think of one small thing that brought you joy that day. Maybe you saw a beautiful bird outside your window. Maybe a kind stranger held the door for you. Maybe your coffee tasted especially good that morning. Share that instead. Watch how the energy changes. People are drawn to light, not constant darkness. Habit 2. Making every conversation a medical report. We all deal with health issues as we get older. Back pain, blood pressure concerns, medication side effects. It's part of the journey. And yes, it's okay to mention these things to people who care about you. But here's where the problem creeps in. When every single conversation becomes a detailed rundown of your symptoms, medications, and doctor visits, you stop being a person and start being a patient in people's minds. Your loved ones care deeply about your health, but they also want to know what book you're reading, what you think about current events, what made you chuckle yesterday. You're a complete human being with thoughts, opinions, interests, and personality, not just a collection of ailments. One daughter shared a heartbreaking story about her grandmother, Evelyn. As a child, she loved visiting Evelyn's house. They'd bake cookies, play cards, and talk about everything. But as Evelyn aged, every visit became a medical briefing. 15 minutes on her heart medication, 20 minutes on her neighbor's surgery, an hour on various doctors' incompetence. The granddaughter started dreading visits. Now she only shows up on major holidays, and she feels guilty about it. Don't let this be your story. When someone asks how you're doing, give a brief, honest answer, then shift the conversation. Ask them questions. Show interest in their world. Be a whole person, not just a medical case. Habit 3. Insisting your way is the only right way. You've lived through decades of experiences. You've seen trends come and go. You've weathered storms that younger generations can't even imagine. Your perspective is valuable and earned. But wisdom without flexibility becomes stubbornness, and stubbornness pushes people away faster than almost anything else. When you approach every conversation like a debate you must win, when my way or the highway becomes your motto, people stop sharing things with you. They stop asking for input because they know it'll turn into a lecture rather than a dialogue. Robert, age 76, shared a painful realization. For years, he constantly corrected his daughter's parenting choices. He thought he was being helpful, sharing his experience. She experienced it as relentless judgment. Eventually, she stopped bringing the grandkids round. He didn't understand why until a friend gently told him the truth. He'd been treating every parenting decision like she was doing it wrong. The breakthrough came when Robert learned to say, "I can see your reasoning on that," even when he disagreed. He discovered that holding space for different viewpoints didn't mean abandoning his own. It just meant respecting that others get to live their own lives and make their own choices. You can share your opinion without demanding everyone adopt it. You can disagree without being disagreeable. This flexibility keeps doors open that rigidity slams shut. Habit 4. Letting personal care slide. This topic feels sensitive, but it matters too much to skip. As energy decreases and motivation wanes, sometimes basic hygiene and grooming fall by the wayside. But here's the thing. Taking care of yourself isn't just about cleanliness. It's about self-respect and respecting others. When someone visits and encounters unwashed clothes, body odor, or the stale smell of a house that hasn't been cleaned in weeks, they feel uncomfortable. Most people won't say anything because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But that discomfort affects whether they want to come back. A home health aide named Jennifer told a story about her client, Thomas. He used to be meticulous, always well-groomed, house spotless, took pride in his appearance. But after his wife passed away, he stopped caring. He'd wear the same clothes for days. He stopped bathing regularly. He stopped brushing his teeth. Jennifer watched as his children's visits became shorter and less frequent. It wasn't because they loved him less. It was because being close to him had become physically difficult. The smell of poor hygiene creates a barrier that even love struggles to cross. A shower, clean clothes, brushed teeth, combed hair, these simple acts send a message. I value myself. I value you. I still show up for life. This isn't about vanity. It's about dignity and connection.
Habit 5. Living like the present doesn't exist. Memories are precious. Talking about how you met your spouse, describing what your neighborhood looked like 40 years ago, sharing stories from your youth, these stories matter. They're part of your legacy. But when every conversation becomes a trip backward in time, you miss what's happening right now. Your son wants to tell you about his new project at work. Your granddaughter wants to share her excitement about joining the school play. Your nephew wants to show you a funny video he made. If your response is always steering the conversation back to, well, back in my day, you're sending a message. The past is more interesting to me than you are right now. Living in the past creates distance from the present moment and the people in it. Balance is key. Share your stories, absolutely, but also ask questions. Stay curious about current lives, current interests, current dreams. The world keeps spinning, and staying engaged with it keeps you connected to the people you love.
Habit 6. Constantly criticizing younger people. Kids these days have it too easy. Nobody has respect anymore. Sound familiar? Every generation thinks the next one is lost, but endless criticism builds walls, not bridges. When all younger people hear from you is disapproval, they stop opening up. Instead, look for their strengths. Your grandson's creativity or your granddaughter's passion deserve encouragement. Ask questions with curiosity, not judgment. You might be amazed by how much you learn and how much closer you feel. Habit 7. Spreading gossip and interfering in others' lives. Gossip may seem harmless, but it destroys trust. When people know you talk about others, they assume you talk about them too. Offering constant opinions where they're not wanted
only breeds resentment. The hardest lesson in relationships is knowing when to stay silent. If someone asks for your advice, share it gently. If not, let them live their own life. Sometimes love means being quietly supportive, not controlling. Habit 8. Refusing to learn anything new. Technology moves fast, and it's easy to say, "I'm too old for this." But closing that door shrinks your world. Learning keeps you sharp and connected. Think of Grace, 82, who took a computer class and ended up video chatting with her great-grandkids and emailing friends again. You don't have to master everything. Just stay curious, ask for help, and take one step at a time. The world won't slow down, but you can choose to keep up. Habit 9. Constantly playing the victim. Feeling lonely or forgotten is painful, but waiting for others to fix it only deepens isolation. Instead, reach out first. Call someone, send a card, invite a neighbor over. One woman began making weekly phone calls just to check in, and soon people started calling her back. Connection is a two-way street. Extend your hand first, and you'll be surprised how many reach back. Habit 10. Using money as a control tool. Generosity is beautiful, but when gifts come with strings, love turns into guilt. Saying, "After all I've done for you," poisons relationships. Give freely or don't give at all. Bernard learned this the hard way when his constant reminders of past support pushed his children away. Love should never feel like a transaction. Habit 11. Refusing all offers of help. Independence matters, but refusing help out of pride can be dangerous. When loved ones offer to assist, say yes. Accepting help allows others to feel needed and keeps you safer and more connected. Strength isn't doing everything alone, it's knowing when to let someone in. Habit 12. Losing your ability to laugh. Life gets heavy, but humor keeps your spirit alive. Dorothy, who battled illness and loss, always joked, "I've got more wrinkles than a bulldog, but I'm still full of sass." Her laughter drew people in. Joy is magnetic. Protect it fiercely. Habit 13. Giving unsolicited advice. Unasked advice often feels like criticism disguised as care. Most people just want to be heard. When someone shares a problem, try saying, "That sounds hard. I'm proud of how you're handling it." Listen first. Wisdom speaks loudest in silence. Growing old is a privilege. Growing kind, curious, and warm makes it a blessing for everyone around you.